Hey folks, hopefully you can hear me well. I'm Taco, and this is TacoBonsai. I am going to do some repotting today on my crab cactus and my two little leaf benjamina. So this one I just pruned back and I've got good growth virtually everywhere, just popping out. There's some old leaves that are falling off here, but really everything's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take this out of the pot, try to correct some of these roots. This has not been repotted in about a year. I just like to get into a different pot. So I've got this, which is just a pot I had. I think I had my silverberry way back when in that. This got to be taken out of there. And this, it's a rather small pot. I'm going to put it into a larger pot to let it grow some. And I'll use this pot for something else. I love this pot, but this tree is getting too big for it. So first things first, I'm going to start with the crab cactus because that'll be a nice, easy one. I'm going to zoom right in so we can see what's going on. Alrighty. So, not a whole lot to the cactus itself. It's kind of ho-hum in that way. But let's get out of the pot, which might actually be quite easy. Yeah, there's not a lot of roots to it. That's been my observation of these just in general. They don't grow a lot of roots, but it does seem that it's hitting the edges and just stopping. So I'm going to put it into a larger container. This soil's good. I don't have pests in it or anything, so I'm just going to pop that in like that. Again, a really easy repot. Moisture level was actually really good in the soil, so I'm pleased with that. But I am going to do just a little bit of exploring here to see if I can go a little bit farther down. I think these are pretty slow to grow roots. Yeah. So yeah, I can't see really well what's in here. I'm going to try to do a little exploring. So it might be a thicker root, or it might be just a bunch of, so it needs to be broken up. I don't know. I'll flatten it out a little bit. All right. All right. These are quite fragile roots, if I remember correctly. Oh, you know what it is? I think it is some sphagnum. It's okay. Not really concerned with sphagnum. I'm just going to get this in here. I'm going to try to straighten it up because before it didn't have a very good stance, whatever you want to say. Now this isn't it's not a much deeper pot, but it's a much wider pot, and I think that's what I'm going to need as far as keeping this thing nice and healthy. Again, no pruning, just wanted to see what's going on in there. I didn't have any issues with the health of it. Just want to make sure I didn't have any future issues with the health of it either. All right. It's of course been flowering and all that, so all news is good on that front. And a nice quick repot to give me, hopefully, a more upright tree. I did have issues with it being a little too fallen over. So I'm going to see if I can't just straighten it up a little bit better. All right, that does look better. So, very pleased with that. I'm going to pop this on the shelf and give it some time to live. Now the next one here, I haven't repotted for quite some time. It needs that repot. Forgive the noise. I am also very hungry, so there's just a little bit extra peripheral noise right now. All right. Now this one is going to be more work because I do believe I have to correct some issue with these roots. So I did either wire in just the, yes, I hope I just wired in the screen, but just in case, I'm going to make sure I can get that out. Oh, all right, it's coming out, which is good. All right, not bad. Good moisture level. Definitely not upset about that. It was just the screen that I'd wired in, but Do not need that wired in now. So pop that out. This has got some really good moisture to it, actually. I don't know if you can see, this is a pretty good level of moisture. All right, but this root right here is way, way too big. Make sure you can see. Yeah. So I'm going to take the soil off of this, see what's going on. I don't recall what it looked like the last time I repotted it, only that I repotted it quite a while ago. So it's not growing nice. Ooh. Roots, it's probably because I need to get involved. And I think that I did also just, oh, nice new root here. That's not a bad sign. I think I did pot it too close to the wall there because it's just too small of a pot for this size tree. The depth was good, but that's about where that ended. I might not end up pulling it back super, super, super far, but I would definitely like to fix. So these are crossing roots and they're both kind of bulbous. And I just have general, root maintenance to be done. All right, I will probably have to rinse this. So before I go too far, I'm going to go ahead and scoot this off to the side and just give it a little teeny tiny rinse right here in the pan, just to see if I can give myself a little bit of visibility here. All right, that helped a tiny bit. So I can see a little bit more. Got new roots coming out there, that's good, but really I've got to address these big crossing roots here, and it may not be what this tree wants to do. So this is coming off at a weird angle there. Go ahead and cut it so it starts to grow more straight. Now, let's see how much I took out. All right, that's quite a bit of roots considering the size of the tree, but it had to come out. Now I can see more this one, which again kind of curls around. I don't want that either. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one off about the same. I'm going to give it, some ability to grow out like that. Now most of this is actually pretty good. I don't need to completely bare root this, but I do need to make sure that I'm addressing any vertical sections. I think that may be where I have to end. I might have wanted to mess with this one here, but I'm not going to mess with it today, and the reason for that is that even though there's a thicker root, it stopped there, and that's got new growth on it. So I've definitely got some good stuff happening there. Let's see now. Make sure these aren't too bad. All right, so this one here, I think it's growing underneath. So this is starting to grow underneath, which I do not want. I've got a section coming out, so take off the section growing underneath. That's a little bit better. Yeah. Some smaller roots here too. Let's see. This one here, it's kind of growing under, so we're going to give it a little snip off there too. Then here's one actually growing under that's a little too thick, so we'll take that off. All right. So there's not a whole lot to this. We're just going in a much larger container, so it'll have a lot of room to grow. But I really just wanted to address those issues with the roots. So quite a bit of roots came off, which, that's the name of the game. Use some of this old soil as base layer, and I'm going to put a little bit more in here to pile on top of. So I'm going to pop this in here and just give it a little, rake out. As it is, I want to make sure that it is doing better for this repot. So I like that position of the pot. I'm going to go for it. As long as I don't knock this over, this is a good position. Now, even though I didn't have a whole lot on there, it was partially because of the pot I had it in and the drainage. The drainage in that pot The hole need to be bigger, and it will be this next time around. So I will address that. We'll stick here. Now, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts, because there's one thing I realize I'm not doing that I have never really done, and I think it does make a huge difference. I have not been sifting any of my bonsai soil. Let me know your thoughts on that. I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but I have a suspicion it does, because people who are very successful sift their soil. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not successful, but I wouldn't consider myself super successful. I have some unexplained deaths and on my trees that I really don't like the idea of. I have a suspicion that that might be an aspect that I'm skipping over in a poor way. That shouldn't be skipped over. So, organic matter I do not want there. So as you can imagine, there's not a whole lot underneath this tree to kind of hold the roots in the wrong place, and I'm very thankful for that. I am holding the tree while I stake in a little big piece there. Make those big pieces. The soil have a nice, solid base at least for it to sit on, but it's certainly much more attractive when it's more upright. It had a real bad lean before. Let's see where we're at here. I think that's going to do it. I don't mind some of these bigger pieces as long as they're not, too big. I think that's well balanced, and I think that is right where it needs to be. So I'm going to water this in one time. Then I'm going to do what everyone loves to do. I'm going to hit it with some soap and water to make sure that there's no pests on this one, because this one has had pests in the past. So not a crazy stretch there. I try to get some suds in there because suds are very effective. So you just, All right, got that soaked in. While that's soaking in, I'm going to defoliate the old growth. Not huge leaves, but I don't think that I want them. So I'm going to very carefully defoliate, and then I can see a little better how I did. Now, I did not see any lack of new growth on this one, which is very exciting. But I do find that since it's got all that growth being pushed out, sorry, you can't really see that, I'll start down here instead. It's a good time to have it start fresh. No new branch yet, but I'm still going to take it off. I hope you guys can see this okay. Do a little hard on that. Sometimes I do have to pull it away. It's really turning out not to be too bad of a tree. I got this from Meehan's directly, not from another nursery that Meehan's. Ooh, hands are shaking. Sold to me. Sell to me. I find that their plants are extremely vigorous. Come direct. All right, just a couple more. Come off real nice. This one under here is going to come off, I believe. Not working. There we go. And then just these couple over here, I believe. Are these new? These might be new. You know what? Those are new ones. So I'm going to leave those. All right. This is the tree all defoliated. It's been soaped up. I'll give it a good rinse. I realize this isn't quite in the center here. There we go. rinse off that soap, pop it back in there, and give it a chance to grow. Now, again, same problem I had before is that this should be my leader, and this is kind of taller. I'm hoping with you know, the new planting angle that'll help, but since I am in here, I'm just gonna give this a little trim back, take some of the vigor out of it. I don't want that vertical one. I don't want this one. Oh, geez, it's kind of tough. Well, this one's coming back in, so I'll take it off. I'll take this off as well. You just leave the stuff that's spreading out there. This one is doing good, but again, I'm going to take off kind of the tip of it since I've already got 2 branches coming off of it, and just let it grow pretty normally. You know what? I will take the tip off of this. So that I have one coming this way, one coming just next to that, one this way, then one that's almost over top of it. But I'm hoping that by taking some of the vigor out of this branch, I can, this one died back. I can work on some of that. Make it a little bit more balanced. And I just realized this is a third one pretty much coming from that spot, so I'm going to take it off. It's a nice low branch, but it's just not in the right place, at the right direction. So that'll help a lot with that. And we'll just see what grows. I know there's some new branches down low. I'm not going to count on those just now. I'm just going to let them go and, you know, go for the best. I might end up taking the top off of this. But I also want to keep in mind that this may be my bottom branch one day. I might take off all the bottom of this and grow the top. All these bottom branches, that is, because I don't need all this bottom part. And it's so thick here, I've just been slowly carving away. It's gotten better. Right now, I'll leave it, but I certainly want to bring this back a little bit. So it may be that that ends up being my bottom branch there, leader here, and then go from there. So, all right, a little more trimming than I'd expected. Not a bad thing, just the reality of bonsai. Sometimes you look at it and you realize you need to do more. Took some big roots off of this, but I think it's better for it. I think it's ready now for its next, I need to put some more soil up here. Its next, you know, growing season. Whether it be the same for it and the next, doesn't matter. There we go, get some more up here. Some of that soil had washed in and I had some exposed roots, so just make sure it's all pressed in, watered in. And I think the next time I'll just try and sift, as well as, you know, all the other things that I've been doing, to see if that helps me with. It's not terribly stable, but I think it'll be okay. Again, it is just hanging out in there. So there it is. I think that's a much better scale of pot to it. So if the health's there, we're all happy. See if I can use a knuckle to zoom back out again. Ooh. All right. All right. Hopefully I still have sound as well. So I don't think it's cut out yet. It's going to cut out right now because I said that. But thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I am leaving them as public as opposed to making them private so that I can continue to refer to them quickly. And so there are still items I can get feedback from, even if there's poor technological ability on my part. And yeah, I'll just keep making videos. So appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Cheers.